David Corenswet is really the best ambassador spokesperson for the movie Superman. And we're going to show just a few clips from interviews. These are especially curated clips. And let me share this here. And in here, it says, David, what did you mean when you said getting the part of Superman was a responsibility and not an accomplishment? Let's take a look at this short clip. Here we go.
Well, as an actor, in a lot of ways, the most exciting moments are the moments when you get a part, because it is a definitive moment. It's a phone call or or an email or whatever, where you go from being unemployed to knowing that you're going to have a job. So it's very distinct and usually joyous. But with this, the phone call from James, although it was joyous and I was extremely excited. The first feeling that I had, or maybe the second feeling that I had after a little bit of relief that I knew I had a job, was the sense of responsibility to now, earn this opportunity that I'd gotten. And so that's been the last 2 years since we got these parts. Yep, 2 years, almost to the day. So which is great because if you feel the sense of responsibility as opposed to the sense of accomplishment is in the past and it will always be in the past. Responsibility is all about the present and the future. So responsibility keeps you grounded in the present and looking towards the future and working hard and trying to do your best.
He has never said anything that I've thought was an issue.
Yeah.
He really, he describing the role of Superman as a responsibility, not an accomplishment. I don't know. I like David Corenswet. I'm a fan.
I mean, not since Henry Cavill has a man taken the role of Superman so seriously. I just wish, I hope David Corenswet has better luck than Henry Cavill. I mean, you got to hand it to them. I mean, the people who have been cast as Superman have done a great job being Superman on and off screen and knowing exactly how they need to portray themselves and the seriousness they need to put into it. And again, we talk about Henry Cavill all the time, but it's a shame that, that's his Superman's legacy. What are we looking at here, Chris?
If you're only listening to the show, there's a screenshot that you can see right now. I really think this movie could do well.
Yeah.
And if you see Rachel Brosnahan here, she takes the mantle of Lois Lane. And to that I would say maybe two mantles.
Yeah. I mean Rachel and her marvelous Ms. Mavels.
Precisely. And she has a lot to say. Here are David Corenswet and Rachel Brosnahan on being a love team. It's always been sort of a simple, it's a romance, right? Oh my God, I'm getting you distracted. This is
stop looking at the picture.
Too much. This is too much. But I'm sure that they do what they call chemistry tests. And it really does look like they have chemistry. I think the actors genuinely like each other. Here they address what it's like being a love team. Rachel Brosnahan and David Corenswet. Here we go.
How do you hope, now that you know about the love teams here in the Philippines, love teams, how do you hope that your love team and your love story inspires the generation right now?
That's such a nice question. But one of the things that I love about their dynamic is in some ways they're both super in their own profession, in their own spheres, in their own circles, but they really bring out each other's humanity. There's nothing like a deep and very true love that can knock you backwards off your feet and suddenly render you utterly vulnerable and helpless. And I think you see them in that scene fighting to hold on to the things that they know about themselves to be true, and at different points in the scene sort of losing the battle. It feels deeply and profoundly human. I think that's one of the reasons why
I have to compliment the guy who did the lighting for this. The lighting on
you
this
should
is
hire him.
Yeah, it's so good. Continuing on.
this love story has endured, because so many different people and so many different couples can see themselves in this dynamic. They're not always the most likely couple to end up together, but it just works somehow.
What about you, David? From kissing and then suddenly you're going out of the door after that heated argument, and you're like, "There was what?"
Well, yeah, I think strong relationships need conflict and need good argument, because if you don't ever risk offending or upsetting your partner, there are some important things that will never get said. You're never going to always agree about everything, and you're not always going to feel like your feelings are appropriate or reasonable. Sometimes you just have a thing of like, look, you can't load the dishwasher that way anymore. It's just and
That
to be
feels
able
personal.
oh, very, yeah. And to know that a strong, healthy relationship makes space every couple of weeks, maybe, or maybe more often, for a good, healthy look. I've got an issue with what you're doing, and it may just be that I'm crazy, and this is a weird thing that I need, and you might be doing everything right, but you're with me, and so I'm going to tell you what I feel like I need or what's important to me, and then I'm going to give you your chance to explain to me why I'm wrong or your way.
Yeah.
But to be able to go back and forth like that, to be able to risk, leaving angry and then coming back together later, it's a big risk to make a commitment.
It takes a lot of trust.
Yeah.
Yes.
It takes a lot of trust to be able to
And
know.
forgiveness and love.
Yeah, exactly.
Aw.
It's the one thing that nobody can logic their way around.
Yeah.
Well, I think if you try hard enough, you can probably.
I know you think
That's
that.
my-
And you're wrong.
But David, can you tell us all about this suit? Is it true that you buffed up more than 40 pounds for this?
40
Because-
pounds was the most I gained. That
Okay.
was, yes.
And then is it true that you got a
Let's just commenting on the aspect. Can you remember a genre movie, Star Wars, Marvel, a superhero property that even prioritized romance?
Mm-hmm.
That's what I think is the point. That's why I wanted to show this
Okay.
clip, is because we don't get that. I think James Gunn realizes it's one of the things, in addition to humor, good storytelling, etc., you have to have those things. You need those things.
69. Yes, you need those things.
You need both things working in tandem.
I know.
You need romance and character development.
Mhm. And they need to work in perfect balance with one another.
Right.
They need to be supported and held up.
Right. No, what's weird, I'm gonna guess, FF and Superman, they come out very close to each other. I'm gonna guess that FF, it doesn't look very romantic. It looks pretty sterile, their romance in the Fantastic Four. And this, it looks like they're going for chemistry. They're going for, it's tumultuous, it's dramatic,
Mhm.
and we care about each other.
Yeah. And as Superman says in the trailers, eyes up here. Here, the impression I get with Superman versus Fantastic Four is we may not have liked the marketing of both movies, but there's a sense that Superman understands the audience it's going for and actually wants to go out and get that audience and wants them to actually buy tickets and see their movie. And it feels pretty broad too, in the sense of, they're going after the male audience, and they're definitely going after the female audience, and they're definitely going after the male audience.
Yeah, I don't know. I just feel like James Gunn understands that you do need to have romance in the mix. I'm just
Yeah.
shocked this movie will be made. It'll be like, even if it's not great, it at least is trying to have the elements. There's that shot of that one girl. Is it? I don't know who it is. A character that like takes a selfie of herself with Superman in the background. Like you see cast attractive women and there is romance. That's like, that feels unusual in modern times.
Yeah.
So I say bravo. He should get credit for that.
Yeah. Well, I always say that the great movies are the ones that make you feel something, something emotionally, that evokes emotion from you. And Superman, obviously there's the heroism, the feeling of heroism that it evokes in people. But you know, what Hollywood has been straying away from is the most powerful emotion, and that's love. And you know, it's funny that we are talking about it just for Superman, but the idea that there is a love story, because love is an amazing feeling, and it's something that I feel like we've been almost shamed to feel it ever again.
Yes.
And you know, and I think, you know, if let's put it this way, if the romance works, Superman's gonna be a huge hit.
And I'll tell you this,
much bigger.
I first noticed the absence of romance, heterosexual romance, with the male gaze, which is a stupid term, vilify for a man being attracted to a woman. That is a common feeling that all men share. You know? First gaze upon, I'm sure when you first gazed upon your lovely wife of how long, Alan?
26 years.
26 years.
Yeah.
That's a feeling. That's the thing. And the male gaze has been somehow vilified as something evil or bad. When I saw Star Wars The Force Awakens, and I thought, wow, the movie lacks romance. My friends, for the most part, liked it because we went through the prequels. But I was like, it was the Han Solo, what happened to Han Solo, the fact that there was no romance. Then I began to notice this lame trend of forehead touching, which I thought was stupid in lieu of like regular attraction between male and female kids.
Like locking lips.
And locking lips, just a good kiss. You could use a good kiss.
Yeah. Well, I mean, remember
Rise
of Skywalker and that passionate moment between Kylo and
Oh God, that's why everyone laughed. It wasn't earned. It was stupid. It was.
And then they hint at it with her and Finn. But there was, I don't know if you remember, but there was kissing in Force Awakens. After they blew up the gun, the two lesbians.
Yes, there's that that's in Rise of Skywalker at the end.
Is
of
it Rise of
Skywalker?
That was
two lesbians kiss. I remember seeing that and just going like.
Well, remember, also Wakanda Forever. There was one kiss in Wakanda Forever, and it's
like Hollywood is afraid to push normal. It's even, you know what? People get shamed for using the word normal. Normal heterosexual romance. Most people. There's nothing wrong with it.
Yeah.
They tried to shame us into thinking it's bad. Or the male gaze. Get the F over it.
Yeah. I hate to say it, but if you want to make money in your movie, rather than lecture to us, why not pander to us? I would much rather take a lot of pandering than a lot of lecturing we've been getting. And that's exactly what this feels like.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, I don't know.
Pander to us, please.
It's very distracting. I can't look at that. But I just don't understand why they can't bring romance back to movies. Even it's an element of movie of action, humor, drama, romance.
I know.
Bring romance back. And if Superman is romantic and Fantastic Four looks as kind of sterile as it is. I think Superman is going to be the clear winner.
Yeah. I want to see a scene where Superman takes Lois Lane to the lake and they go on a motorboat and they just rumble all the way through.